A masculine man should never be found arguing with a woman because it makes no sense. When your woman disrespects you and you start shouting at her and she starts shouting back and both of you start arguing, that doesn't solve anything. Because women, when they argue, they don't even argue from a point of logic. They argue from a point of emotions. They want you to see their emotions. Whereas you are there trying to express your logic to her. Women don't understand logic. Women don't see logic. They always judge everything from a point of emotions. Now, assuming your woman disrespects you, how can you handle that like a masculine man? Well, first of all, let's talk about the reasons why you should never ever argue with a woman. The first one is women don't understand logic and they will do everything to win an argument. As long as you are arguing with that girl, shouting with her, that woman will do everything possible to win that argument. And whatever you are telling her, no matter how sensible it is, will not make any sense to her. Now, the second one is when you argue with women, you lose your frame. Just imagine your girlfriend is shouting at you and then you are shouting back at her. You basically lose your composure. You lose your composure, your masculinity. All these things will make that woman to start seeing you more like a feminine man. Because what makes you a masculine man is your ability to be stoic, to be calm, even in the face of provocation. Now, if your woman is shouting and you're shouting at her, both of you are shouting at each other, both of you are insulting each other, she tells you you're a fool, you tell her you're a fool too. All those things doesn't speak well of you as a masculine man, and you end up losing your frame, making that woman to disrespect you even more. And as that woman is disrespecting you more, she will lose attraction for you. And of course, the third one is the more you argue, the more she argues. Women love attention, and when you are arguing with your woman, she sees that as a sort of attention. So the more you argue with her, the more she will want that argument to continue. Because in her mind, you are giving her attention. And women love drama. And of course, women love that level of negativity that can happen in a relationship. So she will love it when both of you are arguing. Now, what do you do instead? Let's assume your woman disrespects you. What do you do instead? The first thing you must do is you must stay calm and unbothered. Don't get this defensive. She shouted or she does something. Just look at her. Don't start trying to defend yourself. That makes you look weak and look less masculine. Now, assuming your woman began to argue, began to shout, don't shout with her. Simply stay calm. Then take away your attention for a while. If your woman disrespected you, shouted at you, and after that same incident, you are all over her, petting her, calling her sweet names, giving her your attention, wanting to even, be nice to her after she shouted and insulted you and disrespected you, you are basically teaching that woman to disrespect you. Because if you reward a woman's bad behavior by giving her attention, she will know that, okay, whenever I do this thing to this guy doesn't get angry. Instead, he tries to be nicer to me. That means this thing I'm doing is what I'm meant to be doing. But assuming a woman disrespects you, your woman argues with you, insults you, and you take away attention, invariably you are showing her that you can walk away. Invariably, you are showing her that you're the one who has the power in that relationship because you can comfortably do without her. And if this is a woman who still has some level of likeness for you, if you ignore her for 2 3 days or even 1 week, she'll be the one coming to beg you. And once a woman has come to beg you after arguing with you, in her mind, subconsciously, she will learn that, okay, if I argue with this guy or disrespect him, he's going to stop giving me attention. And by so doing, I will not have access to him. When you do this, the woman already knows that there are consequences for arguing with you, for disrespecting you. You are teaching her how to treat you. This is the problem with most guys. A woman will mistreat you, will insult you, will disrespect you. And instead of you walking away, taking away attention, you'll be looking for ways to spend money on her. Why would this kind of woman respect you? She won't. Now you must always be willing to walk away. If you're a man, as long as you're dating women, as long as you're doing anything with women, if a woman doesn't change, you must walk away. No matter how beautiful that woman is, no matter how good looking she is, as long as she cannot respect you, as long as she cannot treat you well, as long as she always argues, you must walk away. If a woman knows that you can walk away, she will change all her bad behaviors. But when a woman knows that no matter what she does, you still tolerate her because you like her so much, that woman will never behave better. Instead, she will get worse as time goes on. So you must always be willing to lose any woman. Now, of course, the fourth one is you must set strict boundaries. Assuming after the girl agreed with you and said some nasty things, and she came back, begged you, what you should do at this point is list your boundaries to her. Now, see, if you argue again, or say, or shout at me again, or raise your voice at me again, I'm going to break up with you. But now, let me assume that you are a guy who doesn't even know your words. You are a guy who is weak. This is what you should do after that woman argues with you, or insults you, or disrespects you, and is now back begging you. But even at that, as a man, you must have boundaries. Whether you are dealing with women or your fellow men, you must have boundaries. Boundaries save you from a lot of unnecessary problems. For example, if a woman knows that you're the kind of guy who doesn't have time for rubbish arguments, she will not even want to argue with you. Because when a woman begins to date you, she will study you, she will check you out, she will know the kind of things you can tolerate and the kind of things you will never tolerate, you will never give a damn about. And when a woman knows that you're the kind of guy who will not accept to argue with a woman, but whenever a woman tries to argue with you, still simply walk away and block her. That woman will respect herself. She will pamper you like an egg because she knows that if she eventually argues with you someday, you will break up with her immediately. So this is why you must set boundaries. When women come into your life, they should know that you're a man who have boundaries. They should know that you're a man who have self-dignity for yourself. They should know that you're a man who places value on yourself and not a man who can be mistreated or talked to anyhow. You must have boundaries as a man.